Sai Ram. Hello dear students. Today we are going to read and discuss the lesson The Village Pharmacy. Here we have some information about the neem tree for you. The Vedas called neem Sarva Roga Nivarani, which means one that cures all ailments and ills. All of you are aware of the Vedas. In the Vedas, the neem tree is called Sarva Roga Nivarani because it can cure any kind of disease and illnesses. This tree is considered to be of divine origin. According to Indian mythology, Amrita, ambrosia or the elixir of immortality, was being carried to heaven and a few drops of it fell on the neem tree. So, in our old Indian historical and mythological texts, it is written that Amrita, we all know what Amrita is. Amrita, let's call it the magic drink, it was being carried to heaven and a few drops of it fell on the neem tree. So, the neem tree is truly blessed. And another story tells of the time the sun took refuge under the neem tree to escape from the awesome powers of the demons. So, there is another story which says of a time when the sun took shelter under the neem tree because of to escape from the terrible powers of the demons. So, it's really very interesting. And planting 3 or more neem trees during one's lifetime was considered a surefire ticket to heaven. So, they considered that if anybody in their lifetime planted 3 or more neem trees, they will definitely go to heaven. And these are some of the benefits of the neem trees and their parts which we have brought for you. Neem leaves nourish the scalp and strengthen the hair. Neem oil is used to treat urine infections, urine disorders as well as intestine worms, helps in development of better oral health, prevents acne, also regulating the blood sugar levels. It renders a better immunity system. So, we can see here that the neem has so many benefits. It strengthens our hair, and then neem oil is used to treat infections, urine disorders, intestine worms, and also we can maintain our dental hygiene by using neem twigs, and it also prevents pimples or acne, and also the blood sugar levels can be regulated by using neem regularly and it also builds a better immunity system. The objectives of the lesson The Village Pharmacy are as follows. 1. Identify ways to honor memory of your loved ones. Appreciate the values of trees and other natural resources. Recognize the importance of applying traditional knowledge to modern life. Use adjectives of quantity and quality in an appropriate manner. Identify the active and passive voices and relate to real life situations. Write a message and draft a notice. So, it also helps you to write message and draft notices. So, these were the objectives of our lesson, The Village Pharmacy. Now, let's read the lesson, The Village Pharmacy. It was already 6 in the evening. Neema, a student of Standard 8, had not yet returned home from school. Iniyavan, her father, a pediatrician at the city hospital, her mother Vembu, and her grandparents who had come from the village were very much worried. Neema entered just then with a sapling in her hand. All, what happened to you? Why are you so late from school? Neema, it was a tearful homage that we paid at our school to the 94 children who died under the most tragic circumstances in Kumbakonam. So here we see the scene. It is 6 in the evening. Neema is a standard 8 student and she has not yet returned home from school. In her house, her father Iniyavan, Vembu, her mother, and her grandparents have just come from the village. So, they are all in her house and they are very worried because Neema has not yet come home, though it's 6 o'clock in the evening. And she enters at around 6 o'clock with a sapling in her hand. Sapling is nothing but a young plant, and so everybody is so worried. So, they ask her that what happened to her, and they also ask her why she is late from school. So, Neema had replied to them that it was a tearful homage. Homage is nothing but paying respect to people in public, and so that's what she says, that they paid a tearful homage at their school for the 94 children. These 94 children had died under most tragic circumstances in a place called Kumbakonam. Now let's see what happened in Kumbakonam. Tragedy at school. G. Srinivasan in Kumbakonam. So G. Srinivasan is a reporter and he is reporting the following in a magazine called Frontline. A school in Kumbakonam, Tamil Nadu, in which 94 children died, raises serious questions about the state of basic education in schools. Classes were on, as usual, at the Sri Krishna High School in Kumbakonam in Tanjavur district in Tamil Nadu. In the school, kitchen preparations were on to cook the mass noon meal: rice, sambar, a side dish, and a boiled egg per child. No one noticed a small fire in one corner of the kitchen. So, this reporter is reporting this incident from Kumbakonam. So, he says that it is a school in Kumbakonam, it is called Sri Krishna High School, it is in Tanjavur district. And what happens in that school? In the school, afternoon meal was being prepared in the kitchen, sambar, side dish, and all that for the children. But what happened was there was a small fire in the corner of the kitchen which nobody had seen, nobody noticed that fire. But a strong wind, normal in the month of Adi, July, August, in the state, seemed to breathe new life into the flames, and suddenly they leapt to catch the thatched roof. Soon smoke filled the rooms, and the children ran to the door, screaming for help. There was no other escape route as the flames spread, and then the burning thatched roof fell. 75 children were burnt alive. Of the other 30 who suffered severe burns, 18 died in the hospital. So, this incident was reported in a magazine called Frontline, and it was in 2004, right? So, what happened after nobody noticed the fire in the kitchen was strong wind. It was the month of July, August, and July, August is usually called as Adi Masam or Adi month, and that time strong wind was blowing. So, what happened? So, the strong wind caught the fire and the fire seemed to increase, and a lot of flames flew and they caught the thatched roof, and the smoke filled the rooms, and the poor children ran to the door. They were screaming for help, but nothing could be done because there was no escape route. And then the flames from the fire spread. So the burning thatched roof after that fell. 75 children were burnt alive, very sad indeed, and 30 who suffered severe burns, 18 died in the hospital. So that was 94 children died under very tragic circumstances in Kumbakonam. Indeed, very sad incident. So, Wembu, it was a terrible accident. Grandma, Nima, how did your school children pay homage? Nima, Grandma, we have planted 94 neem saplings in our school campus in memory of the departed souls. We see in the saplings the images of the children whose lives were mercilessly nipped in the bud. I have brought home one sapling to be planted in our garden. So, this is a conversation between Wembu, Nima's mother, Nima's grandmother, and Nima. So, they are talking, and what are they saying over there? So, Nima's mother says that it was really a very terrible and sad accident. So, grandmother says that Nima, how did your school pay homage to these 94 children? So, Nima answers and tells her grandmother that they paid homage by planting 94 saplings or 94 small plants, 94 small trees in their school to remember these 94 children who died in the very sad accident in Kumbakonam. And she also said that she had brought one sapling also home to be planted in their garden. Wembu, that's a fitting gesture on the part of your school. Iniyavan, yes, I agree. By the way, Nima, do you know that neem has a lot of medicinal values? Nima, no, I don't. I would certainly like to know. So what happens is Vembu, that is her mother, says that it is a very suitable thing they did to pay homage to those 94 children, and her father Inyavan says that he also agrees, and he also asks Nima if she knows the medicinal values of the neem tree. That time Nima says that she does not know, but she would definitely like to know more about the neem tree, its benefits and uses. Grandma, I think your grandpa will be the right person to tell you about it. He has lived in the village all his life and he knows better than anybody else that it is the village pharmacy. Nima, Grandpa, do tell me about the medicinal value of the neem. In fact, we have a science exhibition in our school next week. Maybe our class could prepare something on the neem. So now the grandmother and Nima are talking. So the grandmother says that definitely her grandfather is the right person to tell her more about the neem tree, because he's all his life he has stayed in the village and he knows about the neem tree more than anybody else. So he is the best person to tell her, and also can tell her why it is called the village pharmacy. So as we see, the neem tree is called the village pharmacy, and Nima tells her grandfather that please tell me about the medicinal value of the neem tree, and she also says that they have a science exhibition coming up in their school next week. So she says that if he tells her about the neem tree, its value, benefits, and all that, then maybe her class, she can go tell her class and they can do something about the neem tree for the exhibition. Really interesting. And then grandfather says, Grandpa, it's true that we villagers call the neem tree our village pharmacy. To begin with, look at my teeth. I'm 80. Can you believe? This is thanks to the neem twigs that I use to clean my teeth every morning. Look at my skin, still blemishless as a child's. Thanks again to the neem paste that I apply regularly. I am hale and hearty even at 80. Thanks once again to the neem juice that I drink. It purifies the blood and cures all ailments. Do you know what motivated your father to become a doctor? Well, he used to watch my father preparing medicines from various parts of the neem, its bark, seeds, and leaves. That created an interest in medicine. So now grandfather is beginning to tell Neema about the benefits and the medicinal value of the neem tree. So he's telling her that it is very true that the villagers call the neem tree their village pharmacy because of its medicinal value, its benefit, uses. That's why it's called the village pharmacy. Pharmacy is nothing but a shop where medicines are prepared and sold. And in other words, the pharmacy can also be called a medicine store, it can also be called a drug store. So and then after that, grandfather tells Neema, he shows her his teeth, and means he has maintained his teeth so well. So he tells her that it's because of the neem twigs that he uses every morning. Next, he shows her his skin, and that skin is really healthy and glowing, just like a small child's. So he tells her that this is because of the neem paste that he's applying regularly, and he also tells her that he's 80 years old, but still he is so healthy and hale and hearty even at 80. Just imagine. So he gives the credit to the neem juice that he drinks, and also he says that the neem juice purifies the blood and cures all diseases. So he asks her next whether she knows why her father wanted to become a doctor, and then he reveals that her father, Neema's father, used to watch his grandfather making medicines from various parts of the neem, its bark, seed, and leaves. So that is what created the interest in medicine for Neema's father, and then he went on to become a doctor. Traditionally in India, the neem has been used widely as a medicine for many centuries. It can fight inflammation, hypertension, and ulcers. It can combat diabetes and malaria. Boils, rashes, and wounds disappear in no time. You name it, and the neem cures it. It is a panacea for many ailments. So he continues telling Neema that in India from a long time the neem has been used as a medicine for many years together. It can fight inflammation or infection, hypertension and ulcers. It can even fight diabetes and malaria. So it can even cure diabetes and malaria. It can bring these two diseases under control. Boils, rashes and wounds also disappear when you use neem and neem leaves. So whatever be the disease, it can be cured by the very holy neem tree. And it is a panacea for many ailments. Panacea means it is a medicine which can cure any disease. That is what a panacea is. Even as early as 4,500 years ago, various parts of the neem tree were used in cosmetics and medicinal products by East Indian Harappans. Evidence of these uses exist in the remains excavated at the Harappan site. These days, even toothpaste, soap and shampoo are made from the neem. And here I must tell you something about Mahatma Gandhi. The prayer meetings at the Sabarmati ashram were conducted under a neem tree, and neem leaf chutney was a part of his everyday diet. And Neema, if you think that the neem has medicinal properties alone, you are mistaken. It also increases the fertility of the soil. So he is continuing and he is telling Neema about things that happened 4,500 years ago during the Harappan civilization. I am sure students, all of you have read about the Harappans and the Harappan civilization in your history textbooks. So, when the remains were dug out at the Harappan site, they found that the neem was used in many ways by even the Harappans. And also her grandfather says that toothpaste, soap and shampoo are also nowadays made from the neem. So these are excellent uses of the neem tree, should say. And also he says that he wants to tell us something about Mahatma Gandhi ji. So the prayer meetings were held at the Sabarmati ashram under the neem tree during Mahatma Gandhi ji's time, and neem leaf chutney, daily Mahatma Gandhi ji used to consume neem leaf chutney and Neema. And he also tells her that if she thinks that the neem has only medicinal values, she is mistaken, because it is also good for the fertility of the soil. Thus, it is eco-friendly. It is a good insect repellent. In fact, research has proved that its chemical makeup is such that it is resistant to more than 200 different types of insects. It has also proved to be a good pesticide. Neem is thus agro-friendly too. It protects crops from harmful insects, viruses and bacteria. The litter of its fallen leaves is rich in organic content and hence serves as a good manure. The neem is also an ideal source of timber for carpentry, for its wood is termite resistant. You would be surprised to know that during the hot summer months, the temperature under the neem tree is 10 degrees centigrade less than that of the surrounding temperature. So let's see what he is telling her here. So he is telling that the neem tree is also eco-friendly. Eco-friendly means it is useful for the environment. It is not harmful to the atmosphere. It is definitely useful to the atmosphere. And it's also a good insect repellent, that we all know. I'm sure many of you must be using agarbattis or different products made from neem to fight these mosquitoes and different types of insects. All of us are using many different products from neem for fighting insects and all that, to keep them away from our house. So it is resistant to more than 200 different types of insects, and also it is a very good pesticide. Neem is also agro-friendly. By agro-friendly, we mean that it is useful in agriculture and farming. So it protects the crops from insects, viruses and bacteria, and the fallen leaves. When the neem leaves fall, they make an untidy clutter over there. and those fallen leaves are also serving as very good manure. Also, the neem tree is used and its wood is used in carpentry. In the hot summer months, we come to know that the temperature under the neem tree is 10 degrees centigrade less than that of the surrounding atmosphere. So, it is a really very cooling tree. In fact, your air conditioners may not match the healthy cooling effect of the neem, thus it is a free air cooler service. These evergreen perennial trees can grow in any type of soil. They grow very fast. They can reach a height of 30 feet in 5 years, and if they escape your axe, they can survive for even 200 to 300 years. Is that all you want to know? Or Neema, oh grandpa, how blessed I am to be named Neema. Wembu, no wonder the neem is known as the wonder tree, and you're a wonder girl too. So here what we see under a neem tree, it is 10 degrees centigrade less than that of the outside atmosphere. So it is being said in the lesson that the air conditioners also cannot match the healthy cooling effect of the neem tree. So, and then it is a free air cooler service. Why is it a free air cooler service? Because you are definitely paying for the AC at your house, and also see, electricity also you are paying for when you use an air conditioner. But the neem tree, there is no cost at all, it is totally free. And in fact, when I see a neem tree, I am definitely going to go below it and use the air cooling effect. And also they can grow in any type of soil. They can reach a height of 30 feet in 5 years, really amazing. If they escape your axe, by this we mean that if they are not cut down, they can even live for 200 to 300 years. So it's indeed an amazing and holy tree that it can live for 200 to 300 years. And then grandfather asks Neema if she wants to know anything more. So that time Neema says that I am really blessed to be known as Neema because she has been named after the neem tree. And her mother Wembu says that the neem tree is known as a wonder tree, and she tells that her daughter Neema is a wonder girl. Now let's proceed to the vocabulary. Inflammation, a kind of swelling, sometimes painful. Combat means fight. Incurable, which can't be treated, which can't be cured. Panacea, remedy for all diseases. So it is a medicine for all diseases. So we know that the neem tree is a remedy for all diseases. Excavated means dug out. Conducted, carried out. Eco-friendly, not harmful to the environment. In other words, we mean it is useful to the environment or atmosphere. Insect repellent, a substance which drives away insects. Pesticide, a substance which destroys pests. Litter, an untidy collection of objects that lie scattered around. Agro-friendly, something which helps in farming and agriculture. Manure, chemical-free fertilizer. Surrounding, nearby. Perennial trees, trees that retain their leaves all the year round, trees that do not shed their leaves. So that was the vocabulary of the lesson Village Pharmacy. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Keep smiling, keep learning. Thank you.